I was recently brought in to advise a company who were getting really cheap leads with their Facebook and Instagram ads, but very few sales. And they just couldn't figure out why. Now the problem wasn't any of the things you would usually go to. They were targeting the US and Canada, where buyers usually convert really well. What they were selling was a digital product which already had proven demand. They've got lots of sales, lots of happy customers. They were using conversion ads, which generally have a better sales conversion rate than something like lead ads because the lead quality is higher with conversion ads. And at a surface level, everything looked good. And then I started reading through their ads, and that's when it hit me. The main thing they were talking about in their ad copy and the lead magnet they were sending people to, in other words, the freebie they were driving people to, was talking about 7 critical mistakes that 90% of new entrepreneurs make that kill their revenue. Now, of course, I'm paraphrasing there, but it was along those lines. I mean, that sounds okay, right? They sell business coaching, so it makes sense, it's closely related. But digging just a little deeper and looking at what they're actually selling, their main product is a $5,000 high-level business coaching program. And right there is the problem. There's a big disconnect between the people who are actually buying their program and the people that those ads using that copy and that lead magnet are actually attracting. Now, that current message that's talking to new entrepreneurs is going to bring in cheap leads because the audience pool is huge. There are naturally more newer entrepreneurs than those who are already successful or somewhat successful. And so you've got this large audience hungry for information. Naturally, you bring in those low-cost leads. But then, as you can see, they don't lead to sales if they're not a great fit for what you're actually selling on the back end. And that's where so many new advertisers fall into this trap. They test lots of new messages, they see which one works the best, and their only measure on which is working best is cost per lead. And so they hone in on that. Then it doesn't lead to sales, and they start asking the question, why aren't I generating a good ROAS from my ads even though my lead cost is really low? And that's the first lesson here. When you're coming up with hooks and angles for your ad copy, and when you're coming up with ideas for freebies and lead magnets, you need to make sure that you're coming up with ideas that will attract the people who are ready to buy from you now, and not people who may fit your audience in 1, 2, or 3 years. You see, the new entrepreneurs, they technically fit this person's audience, but they're not going to be in a position to buy right now. It's probably going to be 2 or 3 years until they are in a buying position. So they're not the people that this particular company wants to go after now if they want to make sales in the next week or two. What you should do is instead think about who is actually in the position right now to make that purchase. If we were to take this same example and think of different messaging for our copy and a different lead magnet, something like this would work a lot better. The 3 core pillars every business needs before they can go from 6 figures a year to 7. Now you can see with that headline, we're speaking to people who are already making 6 figures a year at least in their business. Therefore, when you pitch them on a $5,000 coaching program that's specifically designed to help them scale to 7 figures, 1, they can actually afford that level of coaching, and 2, it's very specifically tailored to them. It speaks to where they are now, and it's focused on getting them to where they want to be, which again increases the likelihood of them buying. And the other important thing to note here is that naturally when you do this, leads are going to cost more. Why? Because there are far fewer businesses who are making 6 figures a year than there are new entrepreneurs out there. And that's because of natural attrition. Only so many new businesses will succeed. So naturally, there'll be lots of new businesses out there, but there'll be far fewer businesses that are actually already at that 6-figure level looking to scale to 7. So lead costs are going to be higher. You need to be aware of that, but you need to shift your focus to which leads are going to generate the best return on ad spend versus which leads are the cheapest. I would much rather pay $50 per lead and have those leads generate a 300% return on ad spend than pay $5 per lead and have them generate a 50% return on ad spend. And you need to start thinking that way as well with your own ads. There's no point writing copy that's going to get you cheap leads if those leads aren't going to turn into customers. So that's the first piece of this puzzle. There's a second piece as well that you need to keep at the front of your mind when you're writing copy if you want to make sure that your ad campaigns are actually profitable. And I'm about to walk you through exactly what that is. But before we do that, I'd like to take a quick second to thank the sponsor of this week's video, Skillshare. If you have a specific skill you're trying to learn, from copywriting to video editing to marketing to entrepreneurship and much, much more, you can find classes on Skillshare that will match your goals and interests. One that I recently took was called Advanced Video Editing with Premiere Pro by Geordie Vanderpoot. I wanted to really hone my skills when it comes to video editing. And Geordie hosts one of the biggest YouTube channels when it comes to video editing and cinematography with over 2 million subscribers. So he is literally one of the best people on the planet to learn this skill from. And Skillshare is the place where you can get access to world-class information from people like Geordie and more. I joined Skillshare with the goal of learning more about entrepreneurship, productivity, and video editing. And every class that I've taken has exceeded my expectations by far and helped me grow in so many ways. And the great news for you is you can get 1 month free access to Skillshare if you use the link down in the description. The first 1,000 people to use that link will get a month free access to Skillshare and every class available on the platform. All you have to do is click that link, sign up today, and enjoy your free month. All right, so the other thing you need to keep top of mind when you're writing your copy is the stage of awareness that you're writing for. Now, this is a concept from a book called Breakthrough Advertising, where they outline the 5 different stages of awareness someone goes through before they buy. And the stage of awareness that somebody is at is directly related to how long the buying cycle will be and how easy it's going to be for you to sell to them. It also dictates how you actually need to speak to them and how you need to sell to them. So if you're attracting people who are at the wrong stage of awareness relative to how your sales funnel works and the messaging within your sales funnel, then they're not going to convert either. So let's first take a look at the 5 different stages of awareness, understand them, and then talk about which one is best to go after and how to do that when you write your copy. The first stage is completely unaware. Now, these are people who don't even know they've got a problem or a desire. So they have no idea that they're experiencing a problem or that they really want a particular thing. These people are literally as far away from becoming a customer as possible. In order to get a sale, you're going to have to make them aware of their problem. You're going to have to teach them about that problem and why it's something they need to solve. You're going to have to teach them about the different solutions available. You're going to have to introduce them to your solution, and then you're going to have to convince them that your solution is the best one. It's a really long, difficult buying cycle, but this is also the biggest audience pool. So most people fit into this category. It's where the most opportunity is in terms of audience size, but they're the hardest to convert. And for that reason, starting with unaware audiences isn't a good idea. It's not where it actually starts. The next stage is problem aware. Now, problem aware people simply know that they have a problem. They don't know that solutions exist for that problem, but they know they've got it and it's starting to bug them. Now again, it's still quite a long buying cycle from this point, so these aren't the best people to be going after at first either. Next up is solution aware. Now, solution aware people know they've got a problem and they know there are solutions available and they've started to sort of research which solutions are out there, but they don't know about yours yet. So this pool is getting smaller and smaller as we go through each stage here. Fewer and fewer people are in each of these different stages. But as you can see, they're closer to making a buying decision, meaning it's going to be easier for you to convert them into a sale and it's going to be a shorter sales cycle. Next up, we've got product aware. These people actually know about your product in particular. So they know they've got a problem, they're looking for a solution, they've started researching, and they know about your product, though they haven't decided on which one they're going to go with yet. And then finally, you've got most aware. Now, most aware people know about your product, they know it in detail, and all they need to get across the line at this point is convincing that yours is the best one for them. They've probably got a few objections, and once those objections have been addressed, they're likely going to buy. Now, of course, you might think this is great, these are the people that I should be going after, but the thing here is it's a very small audience. Only a very few people at any given time are at a point where they're seriously considering buying from you. So you can't run this at scale for that reason. The sweet spot tends to be the solution-aware audiences with Facebook ads. They know there are solutions out there for their problem. They're actively looking for a good solution. And if you can get in front of those people and write copy that meets them where they're at right now and helps move them further along those different stages of awareness until they buy from you, that's where you'll see the best results in terms of return on ad spend. Another way to say it is this is where there is the best balance between the pool of potential customers and how easy it is to convert them into actual customers for your business. Here's an example. Let's say you've got a course that focuses on conversion rate optimization, meaning it teaches people how to optimize their website to get more conversions. And one of your customer avatars could be bloggers. Now, within that pool of bloggers, there are going to be people at all different stages of awareness. Some people won't even know that conversion rate optimization is a thing. They simply write on their blog every week and they have no idea what CRO is or what CRO means, or that they have a problem with their conversion rate optimization at the moment. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you are writing for those bloggers who know that conversion rate optimization is a problem for them, meaning they know they're getting traffic to their website, but not enough of that traffic is currently converting to leads and sales. The hooks The angles and the ideas that you're using within your copy should directly speak to those people and that problem that they are experiencing. So as a very rough example, you could have an ad that talks about 3 ways to get more of your traffic to convert into leads with 6 simple website tweaks. Or you could cover things like what to do when you've got lots of website traffic but very few leads. That's going to specifically weed out the newer bloggers and the people earlier in the journey. As we talked about earlier, you want to make sure you target people at the right stage of the journey. And it's going to draw people in who know that they're not converting as much of their traffic as they should, meaning they're in that stage of awareness where they know they have that problem, they're looking for a solution, they're going to read your ad and they're much more likely to click. What you don't want to do is be targeting people who are in that unaware stage or even early in that problem aware stage, because those people have a long way to go in their journey. You're going to have to provide a lot of education to get them to move further through the buying cycle until they finally become a customer, and that is going to be very difficult. So the overarching principles I want you to remember here are you want to write copy that targets people who are at the right stage in their journey, whether it's business, whether it's personal development, whether it's whatever market you're in. You need to target people who are at the right stage in their journey to be in a position to buy your product or service. And it's not just copy. Your lead magnets and your freebies need to be attracting the person who is at the right stage of their journey. And the second principle I want you to remember is you need to target people who are at the right stage of awareness. And if you're going to go out and start writing ads anytime soon, make sure you watch this video next, which will go deeper into how to actually structure and write a really good Facebook and Instagram ad. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.